The Valley of the Sun, Phoenix International Raceway. Throwback style. Is Bird the word? How about Birdman on pole? But more on that later as we have our booth tonight. Joining me in the booth will be Daniel Paulus Jr., fellow driver Jonah Burridge, and of course Zach 103 TV, Zach on production. Gentlemen, what a great recap we had of last race. And to get us started with that, we're going to have Zach give us a little quick recap of the last race at Old Spice.
All right, last race at Old Spice is pretty much the NH show. He pretty much led the whole darn thing, started pole, and brought it home to first place, getting his second career win and first one of the season. And it put him in a good spot in points after first 3 races not being so good. So not starting so well today, but currently doing fair in points. Well, he's actually starting mid-pack, so maybe he'll recover. Freeze, back to you.
Yep, and real quick, Zach, we're also going to stick with you and me here. We had an incident at the NCCRS, right? Old Spice race where Noah Clifton and Pox Koza are playing games in the restart. We've implemented that new rule. Tell us a little bit about the black flag rule and restart violation rule, Zach.
All right, restart violations. Last race we seen, or last NCCRS race we did see Noah Clifton back on the restart, and 3 cars jumped the start. We did let it slide for that time since there was no rules implemented, but now there are rules implemented. If a car jumps the leader on the restart, they will be given a black flag. Not a DQ, but a black flag, unless they do it like 3 times or something, but that's like unlikely as heck. But also, if a second place driver pulls back and makes the lead car get a penalty, that car will also get black flagged. As far as everything right now is concerned, that is a rule. In case if something else happens, exceptions will be made. Yada yada yada. I think that is correct on that. If again there is exceptions and there is complications and whatnot, but that is the current new rule for restart violations.
Thank you, Zach, for the update. Let's go to Daniel Paulus Jr. Daniel, welcome to the booth, man. Give us a one to watch and a little expectation for Phoenix.
Yeah, so the one guy we want to watch out for is the 76 of Gather. I saw him in practice earlier today. He was a very, very fast car, and can't wait to see what he can do tonight. Hopefully win here. And then the Desert Streak. And for the race today, I wouldn't push it. It's an old track. It's getting to an old track, so a tire is going to be an issue here. But other than that, I wish everybody the best of luck and can't wait to watch this race.
All right, over to Jonah. Jonah, one to watch, a little expectation for Phoenix. Let's get it.
I might go with the 03 of Brandon Nelson. He might have a chance, but one problem that he's starting all the way back in 43rd or best.
I think he's starting 38th.
Oh yeah. Probably. So he needs to get a top 20 or top 15 finish to complete it. So hopefully he will make it back without any issues of his car.
Thank you, Jonah, for that little update. I'm going to go with Joy Paints, the points leader. Paints is looking to try to maintain her points lead. We'll talk a little bit about points during the race. But Phoenix, boys, is interesting. We've had about inside, outside lane about the same early in the run, but when we get to lap 6 or 7, as we have done a little bit of testing in 5-minute sessions, we don't know. That's the area of unknown. Expect laps 12 to 20 will be a really indicator of who's got medium to long run pace. One thing about Phoenix, too, with no strategy, it's all about tire management. And with these next-gen Win cars, the undercarriage, the diffuser, creates the downforce just similar to any other track on a short track, especially here with Aero. There are some Aero games, and you got to keep your left side, especially a little bit lower on the leader. We'll see some bunny hopping, as I like to say. Who's the rabbit? Who's chasing the carrot? We'll find out with the leaders. And as always, Zach will give us great shots tonight from great perspectives here at the dogleg section, turn 1, 2, and 3 and 4. That's to conclude the pre-race headlines. Let's kick this off with some command in 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Start your engines!
The command has been furiously given. The Birdman and Brad Stover lead us to green. What can these two do? Bird has been very interesting in points, up and down season. hasn't really had the most consistency. He's looking to get back on track. While Stover, he needs some help down 41st in points. Could be a big night for him. Pace car is going to make that left turn into pit road. It's Phoenix International Raceway. It's one of those races where tire management and strategy of where do you go on the run will be key. Into the restart zone we go. The Birdman leads us to green. Great start by the Birdman. He'll clear into 1 and going up the track into 2. As they get to the dog leg, we'll go throw it over to Daniel Paulus Jr.
Yeah, as you see the 18 there in front of Brad Stover going into the dog leg, coming into turn 3. He's going to keep the lead, but Brad Stover's right there as they exit turn 4, heading down the front straightaway.
He can move by Stover to keep in line, hold that P2. Slap once complete, it'll be Bird taking the lead. Jonah, real quick, over to you in the 1-2 coverage and into the dog leg.
Team owner, the team owner of Woodbridge Racing, Brad Stover, in second. Can he make a dive bomb in turn? No. And then they'll make it on lap 3 now, as his teammates are back in the top 20s of and there's the nearest one is the 22 of Daniel Paulus Jr. And hopefully he'll complete the top 5 at the end of the race, hopefully. And then the one behind him, the closest behind him is the 60 or the 60 of Cody Forge and his team, and his also teammate who successfully had 3 top 10s, surprisingly, is the 121 of Jonah Burridge in the 121 car. And as they make it on lap 5, Bird is still leading for in 5 laps as they're making the exit on turn 4. As they
I'll take it.
In lap number 6.
I'll take it back here. It's going to be Bird taking the lead here. Stover, Not a Weeb, and Polish your top 4. Interesting to note here as we go through the field a little bit here. Inside line, outside line has started to fall off into where we go to a single file. I think it's going to be about when to make the run. Turn 3 and 4 seem to be a good place. 1-2 is about gaining momentum. Watch for 1-2 gaining momentum with the draft, and 3 and 4 could be the slingshot passing opportunity. What are you seeing so far, Daniel, right here? Top 10 is separated by about 1.9, almost 2 seconds. You see anyone in the top 10 you like?
So far in the top 10 right now that I like is the 89 of Brad Stover. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to be in the top 3. He wasn't really that fast in practice, but he's proven me wrong right now here in the race, going on lap 8, and he's holding second pretty well.
Interesting how Stover, like I say, a little bit down the dumps in points, needs a big run, starting to step up. I'm going to say Not a Weeb for my one in the top 10. Not a Weeb is doing decent, 11th in points with such an early season. A good run today could put him in the top 5, maybe top 4, especially the way Joy Paints. Let's go back to Joy Paints, our points leader. Just look at some of the points contenders where they're at. As Zach the cameraman pans back to Joy. Joy's running 25th to 30th, that range. And looking for a solid top 20 would be get out of here and try to go back to some tracks because Joy did win the first 2 Crown Jewel race for the season. Has lost a bit. Let's go to Brandon Nelson. Let's go to Nelson's. That's Jonah's one to watch. Let's see what he's doing. Some points contenders run through here. 41st. Yeah, he's just, like I said, track position's key, and with the outside line mattering in the draft at the mid-pack, it definitely matters a little bit more when you're in the back. So I think his best move would be to just try to get a top 20, but with the way passing is being difficult and it's starting to turn to one groove as the tires fall off, you can see 2-3 tenths fall off from the back compared to the front, which is a half a tenth. You can see, ooh, who is that? Was that Abby Lane nearly cutting off Fireball? I think it was. Yep, almost Abby Lane. Risking a little bit there. Good save by those guys. I think it's just one of those situations where you gotta take your pill and swallow it because the passing is not what it's supposed to be here after 10, 15 laps. And we talked about lap 12 to 20 mattering. Joan, you've been a little bit quiet, man. What are you seeing at the back of the pack compared to the front?
The drivers are struggling to trying to catch up the rest of the cars. So and the O 03 is falling back, but he hopefully he will catch up back at the top 30. So he will probably need pass the 32 and the no, not top 30, top 40. Yeah, that one. Hopefully he'll catch back up and then pass the 32 for so one of them would not get last place. So hopefully there'll be no issues or crashes during the race. Oh, nine car went off the track, but it's not enough to pass him by the 32.
Yeah, fireball in the XO right there.
They almost had a. I thought that would be a caution, but I guess it was still green. But
Yeah, no need for a caution.
But the 9 of NASCAR Fireball 48 saves and still had the run. But the 32 almost had it though.
You have good commentary there, Jonah. Let's go back to the front with Bird. I want to do a little onboard lap here with Bird, and then we're going to go onboard lap with Brad Stover and see what they're gaining and losing. Let's go onboard Bird, see what he's doing in our cockpit cam. Let's go to the rear chase. Okay, we'll start with the rear chase. See, look at what Bird's doing. He's going to go down the straightaway here in turn 1. Now he's going to hit the brakes. You can see it looks like just from the rear chase, Brad Stover is using more on entry and giving up more on exit, whereas Bird is playing pretty cool and actually giving up a little bit on entry, rolling the center better, and staying consistent. You see, once again, Stover goes hard on the entry, but watch, rolls the center a little worse than Bird, and Bird on exit is maybe fractions better on 3 and 4. Now let's go to Stover, see where he's gaining and losing. As that goes through the camera pan, here we go. Let's see what Stover's doing. Let's go a full lap. So we start the dog leg, we'll go back to the dog leg. So right here, hit through the dog leg, you can see, just like I said, definitely gains on entry, sacrifices a little bit, gets a little clear in the middle of the corner, but on exit, Bird just seems to have a little traction fraction. That time, stayed pretty well in the draft. Not enough to make a move, but in turn 1 and 2, gives it up a little bit on entry here, rolls the center a little bit better. Bird blocks the line. And that's all you need to do as the leader. Block the line. That's going to complete a lap around Phoenix. And you see, guys, for your technical point of view, you see the diffuser there. That's where the underwake is, creating all that downforce for the leader. Clean air is still king. And Brad Stover's got to try to find a different line. I think he's going to start searching high in 3 and 4 and use that low-size weave, books for a pass. And he's going to try. Ooh, a little bump and run, but nothing crazy. Is a good move by Stover to brake check a little bit and back up the corner. Daniel, what are you thinking here, man? What do you think of the analysis? You see anything I missed that you see something from Weeb or anyone else trying to make a move? What are you thinking?
No, I think you hit it right on the point there, Vince. The 89, he's been pushing it really hard on the entry. I think he needs to do what Bird's doing, give up a little on the entry, and then push a little harder on the exit. But other than that, I think he's running good, but he's going to have to stay in the draft here. He's not going to want to fall back because it's really hard to pass here. And now if the tire wear going away, it's going to be even worse. So if he can keep that second position until pit stops or caution comes out, I think he's got a chance here.
Yeah, we're getting close to halfway. We know there's no pit stops. So let's look at that tire fall off. Brad Stover, 2/10 roughly. Let's see what Bird's running with the tire will fall off. Okay, let's pan back to Bird. In clean air, you'd think it'd be less, but it's actually more. Not by much, so I think Bird is definitely playing pace management. Let's look at Nada Weeb. Let's go to him on 3rd. See what he's doing. Let's just stay on this TV1 cam. Let's see where he's gaining and losing. Just right here on TV1, we can kind of see. So you see Stover gives up. Weeb is actually a little bit better on entry, backs up the center, then really busted on exit gains a little bit compared to Paulus right there. Now he's going to make a run. He uses a lot of that dogleg apron on the rumble strip. Yeah, he's struggling a lot more in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, he's actually right there. He's trying to build momentum. I think he needs to go a little bit higher in 3 and 4 to gain that run. But not bad. Pretty overall solid B-plus handling car. Solid B-plus acceleration. He just needs a little bit of work on braking in 1 2. And maybe can make a run. But you need at least 10, at least not 10, maybe 6 car lanes ahead with momentum to get a run today because it's very hard to pass. All right, Zach, I know you're on production halfway through the race. What have you seen so far, man? Very track position oriented race, except in the beginning of the race where it was shuffling.
Yeah, definitely the start was where we seen a lot of the guys passing. Really, everyone's just, again, guys who qualified well or doing well. Track position is pretty much, it's a little bit more than key. It's pretty much like essential to being where you need to be at the finish. We still got quite a bit left to go. Tire wear, I'm starting to notice is a factor. I'm curious to see if it'll allow any room for passing, or if these guys are just really playing it safe, or maybe they're just that close in setup. We'll see.
Let's go to our Cobalt 2's one to watch here. Well, Cobalt 2's one to watch mid-race report. Jonah, who you got? Mid-race report, top 10. What's who you got? Someone to watch. It's like Jonah's having technical difficulties again. Daniel, top 10 drivers right now. We know who's got the pace. Anyone in the top 10 you think? Cobalt 2's one to watch.
Yeah, my one to watch is still Brad Silver. I mean, he's hanging really strong here. We're halfway through this race now, so if he can, once again, keep it in the top 3 and stay behind the leader, I think he's got a chance to make a pass if he has the run.
Yeah, I'm going to go with an Old Spice prediction here. I think the leader actually will close the deal. We talked about Old Spice, the leader, having a big pace advantage. I think Bird closes the deal here. Too strong, especially on exit, knows how to play pace management. He'll get it done. And with a quarter of a second tire fall off in almost 30 laps, he can definitely move. Jonah, are you back, sir?
Yeah.
One to watch, top 10, Cobalt Tools. What we got?
We got so the top 10 we got is Bird, Stover, Not a Weeb.
No, who's your one to watch, buddy? Pick one driver.
Probably the team owner of Woodbirds Racing, Brad Stover.
So we got 2 Stovers and a Bird. Okay.
He might win, able to have a chance to win at Phoenix. So all he has to do is pass Bird, and he has to complete every complete each lap and then win the race. So if there will be a caution, he might not jump the start, but hopefully he might have a chance on winning if he stays on the outside lane of Bird.
A good analysis there, Jonah. And lastly, Zach, one to watch top 10 before we move over to the back of the pack.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say specifically, German Chick 81. Not really one to watch for the win, but right now, one to watch for point standings. She's been really consistent with finishes. Definitely one to watch as the season is still going pretty early in the season, but she's been fairly consistent, and right now running in 8th, so we'll see how she does.
Let's go to the back of the pack here. Zach's going to get us real quick to the back of the pack, see some points contenders, see what's going on back there. It's like it's XL back there, and Jonah's one to watch the start. Nelson having a tough night. As well as, there you go, there's XL. Fireball, tough night. Abby Lane, nowhere. Isaac. So these guys, at this point, are just trying to get the heck out of Phoenix, catch the first flight home, that's for sure. So nothing really to report. Let's go to the midfield. Let's go to the next page up. That would be 34th through 27th around there. Now you see the points leader, Joy Paints. It's a tough night too, but to get top 30, considering that Nelson, second in points is worse, and 9 not really doing much. NH is kind of there in the mid-pack. I think she'll take this result, even if the points start to shrink. All right, so that's the mid-pack. Let's go one more up where NH is at. Really nothing crazy. You see Cody Forge there. Pretty much everyone here in the mid-pack knows their role. with tire wear being a little bit more excessive in the mid-pack, with the draft in certain areas, it's all about pace management here for these guys and trying to get a run. But with no runs really forming, they're just going to have to follow the leader. Now we go back to the front. Let's go to the front with Bird, Stover, and not a Weeb. Yeah, nothing's changed. And guys, I think this is just unfortunately a product of short track racing. Dirty air is unfortunately the loss, and clean air is king. And that's just chess versus checkers. I think it's good to be Bird today. What do you think, Paulus?
Yeah, I mean, if I was Bird right now in his shoes, I would keep calm, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, there's nothing you're gonna do for like Brad Stover in the third place car. Once you're in that dirty air, it's really hard to pass. So, I think if you're in the lead right now, you're gonna stay as the leader for a long time, and I think he's got this.
Let's go real quick, though. I want to say something real quick. The gap between, I want to say, first to 7, even Reggie Fogelman. Let's go back to Reggie Fogelman in 7. So what's going on today is the delta, the tire delta is short with this tire compound, which is creating great racing in terms of closing distance. The racing is great in terms of closing distance, but because everyone's running the same speed, especially on corner entry and corner exit, there's no passing. So there's something we can improve on with the package on this track moving forward. That's something we'll note in the discussion and race breakdown for the race directors. So we'll keep that in mind. But back to the front, you see Stover's hovering between 0.09 to 2 tenths. And I think, as Daniel said, it's going to be one of those situations where he needs a big run. Real quick, Jonah, any thoughts here on just the front 5? And we'll go back to Paulus when he has something to say.
Yeah. The top 5, your top 5 are Bird, Stover, Weeb, Paulus Jr., and Thresher. Is it Thresher or someone else?
Yeah, Barney Thrasher, yes, sir.
Yeah. So Barney Thresher is in the top 5, but he can gain points if he's in the top 5. But he might need more help he can get, so he can so the only way is have to stay in the top 5 is just stay in an exact position and block everyone who's trying to pass him on the outside or inside.
Yeah, not good analysis there, Jonah. Couldn't agree more. But unfortunately, your analysis is a little short because just no one can make a pass, and
Yeah.
it's just a product of this racing. It's one of those races where it's track position oriented. Daniel Paulus, real quick before we take home the final 8 laps, what do you have to say right there, buddy?
Yeah, so right now, as you see, from Brad Stover all the way back to 5th, you see how these drivers are getting really close to each other? That is the draft. But as you see from 2nd to 1st driver, it's the same gap. They're not gaining, they're not even losing that much. But as you see, the 48, he's gaining on Brad Stover. But I mean, it's just, I think this is going to be the top 5 for the night. So that's all I gotta say, man. I mean, it's short track racing.
Short track racing. Let's go in the helmet cam with Burr. Let's go through a cockpit cam and see what his crew chief is telling him as spotter. Let's go to Bird. All right, buddy. All right, we got 6 to go here. You got no one behind. Remember what I told you about? Center of 2. Center of 2 through the dog leg. Get a little higher run. Use that rumble strip hard. There you go. Now bounce it a little bit on entry. A little bit on exit. A little bit on exit. Roll the corner, roll the corner, roll the corner, roll the corner. Now gas it, accelerate. A little turning. Break the draft a little bit on the front. There you go, just a little bit with the car movement. Back high. Like I said, roll center of 1, roll center of 2, roll center to the yellow line. Wash up, get a nice run, hit the rumble strip slightly, and then gas it up on 3 and 4. All right, that's a lap around Pheonix right there from a cockpit point of view and the crew chief. So what the crew chief's trying to do is figure out the lines. The spotter's doing the same thing, right? Figure out where Stover is good, where Stover is weak, and aero block the entire racetrack. That's just typical Pheonix. And as Daniel Paulus said, the track is keeping everyone in line, but it's not creating any resistance to the pass. And there's no crazy tire wear, which we thought we would get, because we're only about 4 tenths tire wear, which Doesn't create the best racing all the time. We'll see what happens with 3.5 to go. Can Brad Stover somehow make a bump and run, or does Bird just lock it up? And he's starting to close a little bit. Stover was closest right there, but unfortunately he washed up the hill with the wake.
He's really close.
Yeah, Vince. I think that Stover's gonna have to make a move if he's gonna want to try to win this race. But it's risky though, because if he makes a move, he can fall out of line and fall out of the top 5, and that's not what he wants. He wants to get as many points as he can for the playoffs.
Oh,
As you see,
there's
Brad
two.
Stover to the inside of the 18.
oh, no,
18
no.
washed up there a little bit, but now the 89 falls back. Maybe he's got one more shot.
Yeah, I think that was his only shot. He's got to make a heck of a run of the gods to make a move. Paulus Jr. is looking underneath for third. We're 1.5 laps away. Daniel Paulus will use his famous credit line speech right here, and I'll take home the last lap. Go for it, Daniel.
All right, the 18 here. He comes out of turn 4 for the white flag. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank here at Phoenix International Raceway. 18 goes into turn 1. Here they come out of turn 2 with Brad Stover in second. Heading through the dog leg.
Hopefully,
Here comes the 18 into turn 3 for the final time. Out of turn 4.
And
The
Bird,
18 will win at Phoenix International Raceway and end the desert sweep here in the West Coast for the Cars Land Cup Series.
whoa,
And congratulations to the Birdman for taking it home a dominant and what can only be described as flag-to-flag win.
what a wild 3 to go finish. What a crazy 3 to go finish.
Yeah, very good finish, and we're going to do some post-race thoughts. Let's start with Daniel. Daniel, once again, everything you said was spot on. Draft was really critical tonight, and passing wasn't there. But what do you think? Burr getting a flag-to-flag win. Was that car-related in track position, or do you really think he could show something when we move on to the next short tracks?
Well, I know, Bird, I've known Bird for a while now, and he's a really talented driver, you know. He's never got these many opportunities, and he showed his talent what he got here tonight at short tracks. So when we go to a next short track in the schedule, I'm going to be looking out for Bird next time because you never know. Now I think he's a threat towards these short tracks. So keep a close eye on Bird, and good job to him today. He deserved the win. Yeah, it was hard to pass, but congratulations to Brad Stover as well as finishing in top 3. He needed those points, and I can't wait to watch the next race next weekend, guys.
All right, Jonah, real quick, what we got? Final thoughts of Phoenix.
All right. Hopefully, in the next race of Cars Land, the next race won't be the short track, but it will be a wild one, and we're going and the next track that we're going is at
No, I'll take care of that, buddy. I got that. Don't worry. That's good enough. Zach, real quick, final thoughts, my man.
All right, yeah. Clearly, we didn't have the right package there. Really, crunch for time, switching track mods, and we really didn't have enough time for testing. So, it's unfortunate, but nonetheless, really, from the pole to the checkered, it was Bird's race to lose from the beginning, I guess. Yeah, really good points day for Bird. Almost a replica of his Atlanta win last season. Track's totally different, but same part of the season, same situation, new team and all that. But yeah, interesting to see how this will help his point standing. And next race will be the Cars Land Super Speedway. Will be the debut for that in the Cars Land Cup Series.
Yeah, my final thoughts here. First 5-6 laps, really shuffly. Bird controlled the pace, did a great job with pace management, held his lines, understood the weaknesses of Stover, Weeb, Paulus behind Thrasher, and never looked back. Congratulations to Bird on a great win at Phoenix International Raceway. From all of us here at CCS Network and Daniel Paulus Jr., Jonah, and our boy Zach 113 TV on production, we are signing off. Have a great night, and we'll see you at the Cars Land Cup Series home track at Cars Land Super Speedway. Good night, everybody.